straight into this interview with Jill Scott, obviously known for football, but we've been doing a little bit of research and good runner as well.
Oh, that makes us nervous when people say they've been doing research.
No, don't worry.
10. Basically, I mean, remind us of your times as an under 15 girl.
Can you remember them?
Yes, I do actually. So under 1500 metres, I remember I did 5 races in a row every Saturday and I got 4 minutes 47 at every one. And I think my 800 metre was 2 minutes 19. I think I was about 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there were decent times, but yeah, it was kind of at a time when I was juggling football and running, and it was really.
We were wondering when.
Yeah.
Was
so you didn't,
as well as football.
So you actually started. You were playing football before you did any running.
Yeah,
so it wasn't.
I started playing football when I was about 6, 7, and then when I got to senior school when I was 11, 12, there was a Sunderland Harrier coach there. Just at a sport event, and they were like, "You'd be a good runner." So I took part in the Northern Cross Country Championships. First race, he had to borrow us some spike shoes, and I won by 30 seconds.
Oh wow!
So he was like, "You've obviously got like a natural talent for it." But it was one of them. Obviously, really hard. Obviously, sitting next to people that run, but I really struggled with the mentality of being like an individual athlete.
That was one of the questions I was really going to ask, because it struck me. I remember I did something with Frank Lampard years ago, about the same time that you were ranked 21st in the country for 1500 metres. And he was talking about the fact that he really, really struggled with penalties.
Yeah.
Because all eyes were on him rather than... And he was kind of made the analogy. He said, if you have a good game, you get noticed. If you have a mediocre game, no one notices.
Yeah, it's
if
true.
You make mistakes, people notice. So he said, I'm not used to people really focused just on me.
I don't think people actually understand the demands on a runner. I remember standing there at like the start line. It'd be like the Northeastern Championships, and everyone's got their elbows up, and it's 1500 metres. And I was like, it's just all on me to do well in this moment. And yeah, it's so much pressure. And I remember saying to my coach after my first couple of races, going, what do I actually think about when I'm running? Because I was really found it hard to focus on this race. And he was like, you're meant to be thinking about your race and your plan. And I've said a few times recently that since retiring, I definitely think that I have a bit of ADHD. And I think that would probably explain that kind of focusing solely on something. And even when I played football, they used to have to say it was right, think about the first 15 minutes, then the next 15 minutes, then the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, but that's something we'll say as well, isn't it? If you're running a marathon, is break it down into manageable chunks and just concentrate on each mile at a time.
But how do you actually do it? Like running for, what was your marathon time?
A long time ago, 2 hours 15.
Yeah, but how do you actually just keep yourself going for that time? It's incredible.
I guess it becomes for me, it became like a game.
Yeah.
And I'd kind of play games with myself about hitting certain points.
Yeah.
Concentrating on drinks, breaking it down into sections and then smaller sections, doing maths calculations in my head sometimes about how much fractions of the race are left, just to pass the time.
Wow.
But in something like the London Marathon, I mean, it actually flies by because the atmosphere and the crowds and you're racing well, and it does. Really
there's a lot
of. It's the tougher ones that take longer, isn't
it? When it goes wrong, that you feel every little pain and niggle and thing go wrong. But I think there must be a lot of things that you do in a game where it's kind of autonomous.
Yeah.
You build up a lot of autonomy around certain things to focus on the things that help you actually either play well or run well.
Yeah.
And I think that's the bit around running quick is there's a lot of things that you take for granted that's very autonomous that kind of makes it's like driving a car. You can drive for an hour and go, I don't really remember the last hour. And I feel like that's when you do enough running, you can actually squash a lot of time through dead space because you do it so repetitively.
Yeah, maybe I thought the two were so different because when I was in a football match, obviously I'd be reacting to things that happened, looking at my teammates. But I suppose when you actually break it down, you're reacting to so much that's happening in the races. And whereas I probably never seen it like that, I suppose, in my head. But you know what? I'm so grateful and so thankful to the running training, because I'll sit here and say, and people always think I say this and I'm saying it for attention, I'm not. I was a very average footballer, but my engine and my work rate was the thing that got us through, because I'd look at my opponent and I'd be like, I know I can run longer than you today. Yeah. So I'm so grateful for the running experience, and also the mentality of being an individual athlete. Obviously, I only did it for so long. But yeah, that mindset of the cross-country training is absolutely brutal, isn't it? When it's freezing cold and you're just running laps of like this hill and there's just mud everywhere. So it's a difficult sport, but it's one that really, without it, I don't think I would have gone on to play for England.
Really?
Yeah, I believe that.
Did you carry on running a lot when you were playing internationals and you got older? Was it still a massive staple just to go out for a run, or was the running always with the team?
Yeah, it was always like within the team, but I was so competitive. We used to do obviously the bleep test and the yo-yo test, and in my head I was like,
the yo-yo test.
So basically it's a bit like the bleep test, but it's just kind of it's still to a beep, but just different distances. But it's more kind of suited to footballers because it's not as continuous running. Mm-hmm. So in my head, I wanted to win. And then as it went on, they then would put like a GPS in our back and we'd just have to run for 4 minutes and see how much distance we covered.
Wow. Yeah.
So there was a bit of similarities with that. And I was always at the front till a player called Lucy Bronze come along and I just couldn't beat her. She was so much better than me.
But did she have the background in running, or was she just natural?
Yeah, she did running as well. So I think she did 800 metres. There was a lot of the girls did like sprinting, some did longer distances, but I remember I even tried 3,000 metres. I remember.
We saw that. Had a good ranking time.
But I think my first time I did it in 10 minutes 44, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
But I got glandular fever, that was the thing, and then I had to decide between the two.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, because it was too much.
It was too much.
Pulled in all directions.
I remember one weekend I had a cup final for my under-15s team on the Sunday morning, and then I had a 1,500 metre race on the afternoon. And I was just absolutely knackered. And that was a moment where I was like, your body's just not going to allow this.
It's interesting because that was the same thing. I was no standard as a footballer, but I would on the Sunday play football, and it was more of a fun thing to facilitate the fact I was primarily knew I was a runner. And that was the bit, there was a point where I got, I'm too knackered for my football.
Yeah.
So I went the other way because I was never a footballer. But it does come to a point where you try and do everything till eventually I need to focus in on.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
this is taking.
Heart was pulling towards.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Because it's like with Crammy. I mean, Crammy would love to have done what you've done. He always used to say he wanted to be a footballer.
Yeah.
And then he just decided he wasn't going to be good enough as a footballer, and running was where he was obviously going to step up to. But still follows the same team as you.
Yes, no, we actually have a season ticket together, so I can't get to as many matches as I would like to, but yeah, we've still got a season ticket together. So I see him now and then, and yeah, it's great, obviously, just catching up, and the love for Sunderland Football Club will always be there. I think from being a little girl, age 9, being there with my granddad, still love the team like so much, and they're doing great as well.
I was just about to say, they're doing incredible this year. It's are you even thinking about Champions League? Sorry to go in a football direction.
Not at all. I think when the season started, I was like, let's just stay up. I was like, but yeah, you can't help but think like we're near I think we're about 6 at the minute. And with every game you think, we might lose points here away at Liverpool, and to get a draw at Anfield. So yeah, it's kind of one of them like incredible seasons that you can't believe's happening. But I try not to talk about it too much because I want them to keep doing
just keep going and not jinx it.
Just because we just had a fascinating interview with Ricky and about creativity in running.
Yeah.
And in football, like midfield is quite a creative, and you're very instrumental in how a game is being played and direction. Do you find running helps with creativity for you as well?
Yeah, definitely, I think, because I think if you have to be creative with your movement and your patterns of play on a field, you have to have the legs to be able to get about. So yeah, I think definitely, I think the creative side, as kind of a person away from sport, I've always been quite creative. So I speak that I like to do poetry and stuff like that. And when I was younger, I was always making up stories and I think my mum was like, is she telling the truth or not? Because I was so creative with what was happening. So I've always had a creative brain. And then, yeah, especially with football, I always wanted to kind of learn new systems and stuff like that, and always interested in kind of when we'd win a game, like why would won the game. So, yeah, I think there's definitely a link, 100%.
Well, it's like, I mean, people used to say, didn't they, that 1,500 metres is a bit like a game of chess,
Yeah.
physically, because you have to kind of think, not only what are you going to do, what's everyone else going to do around it, but football is even more so that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
those two probably helped each other
No.
in those ways. And you talk about the nerves,
Yeah.
standing on the start line for 1,500, but I mean, that must have helped when you're then standing playing for England.
Yeah.
That pressure is on you.
I think when you picture the moments like Euros finals, World Cup semi-finals, but I'm sure it was the same like for yous, that for me there was nerves before, but then as soon as maybe a race started or a football match started, it was like, this is my bread and butter, this is what I've trained for. It was kind of more the overthinking beforehand, because I always think about when you're kind of in that holding area, would you call it, and everybody's stretching, and surely that's when your brain's going 100 mile an hour. But then when it's time to, right, I was going to swear there, but time to get it done, that's when you're like,
locker room chat.
Yeah, you're like, I know what I'm doing. This is what I've trained for, and yeah, so I think that's like an important part of it. But my overthinking was always probably before a game, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't kick in like in the middle if you stopped and then had to restart, or if you have a break and you go into critical extra time or penalties. Does that stopping?
Not really. I think I always had a bit of like maybe it was a bit of like fake it till you make it. But when I stepped over that white line, I always had a little bit of like arrogance about us, really. I was very competitive. I'd win at all costs. I think because there was a referee to protect you as well. I thought I was like this hard woman at times. But I probably turned into a different person on the pitch. But yeah, maybe penalties. I was never somebody who was down to take a penalty. So when you speak about Frank Lampard, I can't kind of relate to that, because the pressure was never on me. It was usually the forward players.
But you feel it.
Yeah, you do.
Because they're part of your team.
Yeah, you do. And kind of that situation's like out of your control. But when you get them winning penalties, it's the best feeling in the world.
Because we haven't got loads time, because we have got this quiz to go to. But I wanted to touch upon something you said about how the fitness side of things gave you that superpower in a game, to feel like you had the edge, or you can outlast the other players. Do you feel running on fitness now does that in life? You feel like that extra fitness you get through running or whatever you do now helps you tackle.
Well,
let's check that first.
Well, I assume you must keep fit some way.
This is the thing. So when I played football, I played 16 years for England. I played, what was I when I finished? Like 36, played from the age of 6, so 30 years of running, and I never had an injury. So I missed, I think, one England game in that time, which I feel so fortunate, lucky about. So I played a lot of football, but now my knee is absolutely knackered, because I think it's got no cartilage left in it. So I really struggle now when I'm out for a run. So I can only actually get out for about 5k max. And I try and do a couple a week, but it's more for the mental side of it. But I'm so gutted, because my time is about, I did one the other day, my time is about 1 kilometre, 1 full K behind my time that I used to do. So I'm so far out of like what I used to do, and I'm gutted about that. But I do a lot of walking. And I know, obviously, as athletes, I never thought of walking as exercise, because I was like, well, you're not really like exerting yourself. But I think it can keep you a certain level of fitness.
Have you heard of jeffing?
No.
Neither had we.
Please explain.
It's combining that running and walking.
Oh, okay.
So it
comes from a guy called Jeff Galloway.
Yes.
Right? And he basically introduced people who were daunted to go the whole distance to start walk and then run.
Or has a niggle or something.
Oh, okay.
So it's a way of...
But I think I'd struggle with that, because when I run...
Because you get into
stop, go, I just have to run, get through the pain for like 25 minutes. And then, But I hate the fact that I can't get out and do like a run.
No.
as much as I used to.
And is it
See, I've
something?
just clicked.
Oh yeah, I did hear.
Is it something?
Don't please don't move. Yeah.
Is what?
Is it something that you can look at?
Maybe, but it doesn't stop my day-to-day life.
Yeah.
So, and do you know what? If at the age of 5, 6 years old, you'd said to young Jill, you'll go on to play for England 161 times, I would take a bad knee now. I would take it every day of the week. So, again, I feel very, very lucky. But yeah, I am gutted that I can't kind of get out for a run as much as I'd like to.
No. I feel for you. Sorry. Have we? Sorry, you keep giving me.
Yeah,
I think
like 1 minute.
we'll be good for some more questions.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'll probably.
I've got one
Yeah.
thing to say though. I must say, I don't want to embarrass Paula when we're here, but growing up, Paula was literally my idol. So
Mine too.
obviously there wasn't a lot of female footballers for me to look up to. So Paula, I'd watch every single thing that you did.
You wouldn't
Watching
have
you.
looked up to me from.
No, I did the marathons of Great North Running. I just think obviously your running ability, but the mentality, the mindset, and that was when I was younger. That was kind of like what I really wanted to be an athlete because of you. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. I know
Bless you.
it's probably awkward when we're sat here like this, but there wasn't a lot of female role models for me. So I think just what you did for sport in general is absolutely incredible. So
Oh, well, you've done a
thank you.
phenomenal amount for, I know, so many girls and boys watching you play and
Thank
wanting to take up that sport and make it accessible.
yeah,
So I think it is being someone that is a normal person
yeah.
playing at the top level.
But nowadays, it's like the girls obviously have so many players that can look up to, and it's good that times have changed. But I always say to young people, as long as you've got one person in your mind that you think, you know what, I want to be like them when I'm older. So I think we did Sunday brunch together,
Yeah, it
and
was a lot of fun.
I think I was ringing the agency going, I'm with Paula today. I was like, I'll keep her cool and then I'll have a conversation at the end. But I was so glad that you were really nice, because sometimes you meet your idols and you think, are they going to be the same? But yeah,
I can vouch for the fact is that's the one thing I loved about athletics is if you were a good senior, the juniors got to mingle a lot. So if we went to a World Cross, everyone's together, everyone's travelling together. So it's not like I guess the under 20 England team and the senior team, I don't know how much they would mix, but we would go to events all together. So people like Paula was very approached to embarrass her as well. Like we were, as juniors, idolised people like Paula and John Brown and people like that. But you got access to them. You could have literally a breakfast, lunch and dinner with them. And that's one of the beautiful things about athletics. You're all learning and together. But so I'm vouching for the fact she was an all right person even back then. That's what I'm getting to.
You used to share a room a lot with Mo, didn't you? So that was one of our questions
Yes.
as well.
Yeah,
So you raced Mo on a mile. Who won?
Oh,
yeah.
You know what? He invited us to do this podcast. I thought, wow, this is incredible. Because obviously I've always, even though I stopped doing running, I always followed it. And even though I played in World Cups and Euros, the Olympics was the biggest honour for me because of my running background for a few years. But he said, oh, we're going to do this podcast. You run a mile and you chat. So I thought it's going to be, like a 10-minute mile, like jogging. He just went and he was like, we have to try and beat Jimmy Carr's time of like 5 minutes something. I was knackered. I don't even think I could talk, but it was like a really competitive mile. But I think you can't more just, obviously he's not running now, but I'm guessing he's still training.
Yeah.
He just sprinted this mile and he wasn't even out of breath. It was fascinating. It really was. It really was.
You didn't outkick him at the end.
Oh, no way. But you know what I think people don't realise? I'm really sticking up for running today, but like if you went out and ran 100 metres as quick as you could, I don't know, maybe like 14 seconds or something, like you guys do that for like 10k continuously. No, but I don't think people actually like realise like a lap time of what?
For
What would Mo be running in
So,
10k?
400
10k is, well, he was a 65 per lap. I was 66.
See? So that's like
Seconds, that is, obviously.
So that's
but
like 15, 16 seconds. So sprinting that 100 metres and you're...
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't even put it into words.
Do you know what, as well, now that I'm retired, and I can't vouch for Mo, but no, certainly now I've retired and do less running, I can't believe it either. I can't believe I used to...
That was the runner coming out then. See how quickly she worked out the 100 metre distance.
Yeah, quick maths. Yeah.
65. Most
65.
footballers can't do that.
That's 16.2.
Yeah.
I remember we always used to have to do 300 metres and it must have been like under like 50 seconds or something like that, but you'd do 300, walk the 100, and you'd have to do 10. Like, I can still remember them sessions.
And people still do that.
Yeah.
That's a classic
My son
session.
Is it?
last week.
Did he do that last week? Yeah,
Yeah.
10 threes up a minute. Yeah.
Do
Well,
you
45
still
seconds.
train like that then?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably like, a lot like football. I mean, there are new technologies come in.
Yeah.
The bottom, bread and butter, basics are still the same. You still got to do this.
Is that just because you absolutely love it still?
Oh, do I still?
Yeah.
I didn't know I was holding the stopwatch.
Oh, okay. I thought it was when you were
across
joining it.
I do still run with him.
Yeah.
I actually, it is a massive, massive pleasure for me to share something that I love.
Yeah.
And see it becoming his passion slowly.
Yeah.
And sharing in that. So that is really cool. And I was saying to Gary, my husband, the other night, there is nothing better than going down to a club night. Doesn't matter whether you're actually on a club night or you're holding the stopwatch. There's just an atmosphere of track training under the lights.
I know what you mean though, when you walk and the lights are on. We was at Silksworth Complex, which is up in Sunderland, and the lights were on, and I know exactly what you mean.
It's that buzz of that, isn't it? And it's nice that you can still keep doing that. So keep doing the running. Just don't time it. You don't.
Yeah, I know that's the depressing bit, to be honest.
It's not depressing. You can rest easy with the career you've had. I don't think you need to feel that, because some athletes do that buzz of the session. Still do it. I haven't got in. I want to start doing sessions again, just because it's hard, but there's a buzz about it that's different to a steady run.
Yeah.
It's just a steady run.
You can replicate it without measuring a distance. You can do it as a fartlek, you can do it as a hill session. You've got the same burning sensation, but you're not seeing how much slower.
The burning happens a lot sooner than it used to. Yeah, I used to run a lot further before.
You know when you used to get like DOMs the day after a race?
Yeah.
I swear when I'm running 5k, I get it on the run. Honestly, after about 3k, I'm like, I think I've got DOMs, like it's kicking in already. I'm like, this isn't delayed onset muscle soreness. It's instant.
Instant. So it's IOMS. IOMS. Instant onset muscle soreness. Yeah.
We've got a new thing though.
Yeah,
so
IOMS.
you suffer from IOMS.
Get in touch. You've got.
We haven't got the answer actually.
Yeah.
Just struggle with it. Thank you so much.
You're a
I'd
star.
love to chat to you for longer, but we do have to run off to do.
I know we've got to do.
So hopefully we will let you know on Thursday.
Yes.
Oh no, we won't. We will have let you know by the time Jill comes out.
Oh yes, Well, maybe we delay it and let people know how we do. But you're our trump card for answering all questions.
Oh, don't rely on me. But this was an absolute honour. So
thank you very much
for having me.
Jill Scott, thank you very much. And it was brilliant to chat to her, wasn't it, Thommo? Apologies, it was quite rushed because Jill is still trying to fit a huge amount into her life, and we're hugely grateful that she managed to squeeze in that before joining us as not quite a victorious Christmas quiz winning team, but we had fun, didn't we? And we came quite close-ish. We didn't come last.
Well, we enjoyed the journey, as we talk about, but she did say as well at the end she'd love to come back on and talk more about, certainly her running background, because we didn't talk about the English schools and a few other bits. But I hadn't met Jill before that. I don't know if you had, but she was her personality instantly was just infectious as soon as she walked in the room. Just the way she was in her aura. And it was funny, I was talking to someone about the fact we'd interviewed her, and they who was part of the Lioness backroom staff, and they said they keep her around part of the team because of that, to keep the morale. And so she's been part of the squad, even though she's not necessarily playing in other team build-ups, because she's such a nice person. She's just such a lovely person, and you can see by the way where she pops up in these different shows and stuff. She's just very genuine, very lovely, and very humble. And I just really enjoyed the chat.
Yeah, no, really, really enjoyed it. So thank you so much, Jill, for joining us on that. I'd love her knees to be able to be fixed to see if we can get her back in for something, because, huge potential. And you're absolutely right. You can see the value of her as a motivational force and just a supporting force as well, whether things are going well or going not so smoothly. She'd be in your corner and kind of trying to make everybody look on the bright side and the positive side, and keep moving forward and keep getting the best out of each other, which is exactly what you need in that team. I
think quite often, I love football is something I love, and I'm old enough to be sort of get the kind of the shrapnel of stories from Brian Clough era and how he was with Nottingham Forest and how he galvanised the team or the unit, and then you hear these modern day managers like Ferguson and your Mourinho's and Klopp's, but the reality is, I think footballers innately and staff, they're all about getting all these people together in a way that they operate as a unit to perform. And so it kind of, I don't know, we operate as individuals so often. So whether we're having a good day or not, we're not fussed about the person next to us, whether they're happy. But if a footballer's having a bad day, you don't want to bring the vibe of the other team members down. So it must be such an interesting thing to kind of manage variety of different moods or feelings in a dressing room to get them all feeling the same positive energy, whereas for us it's like literally all we have to worry about is ourselves.
yeah although there is that team aspect in terms of if somebody goes out there and runs well. I'm thinking back to the European Cross Country Championships, for example. When someone goes out and runs well in the first race, it does kind of encourage the rest of the team. Oh, if they can do it, well, maybe I can get out there and follow up like that. So kind of similar, but you're right. We don't have that full-on team spirit outside of like 4x4 relay or road relays, which is why I always used to love doing those.
Well, okay, so that question quickly, because obviously Jill was very complimentary to you and how much you inspired her in her own career. But who inspired you in the moment when you were coming through the ranks to go, specifically an athlete achieving something in front of you, you thought, if they can do it, I can? Because obviously,
oh my goodness, this is a funny one. So you will not have a clue. Most people won't have a clue on this one. Even Crammy, I stumped him because he asked me this question. He said, was there one race that you remember watching as a kid? And I do. I mean, I clearly remember watching Joan Benoit-Samuelson win the 84 Olympics. And that was a huge, huge moment. Outside of that, actually, when I was getting in touching distance of that, it was the European Championships in Split. And it was someone called Snezana Pajkic. And I think she was Croatian, but I'm not even sure if they'd split then. She might have still been Yugoslav at that point. Right. And the women's 1500 meters was run slowly. And she basically just kicked out of the pack and no one had heard of her. No one heard of her again afterwards. What year was
this, sorry?
You've stumped me there.
Okay.
I'm going to have to go back and look. I think it was 1990.
Okay.
I think.
So you would have been roughly 16, 17, 18?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would have turned 17 the end of that year, so I would have been 16. Yeah, there.
Okay.
So it was just one of those moments where I just remember watching and thinking, actually, you know what, when races are run that tactically and it's that slow and you're still in with a mix, anybody can win it coming into the straight, and literally anybody did that one. So I don't think she ever went on to do very much afterwards, but it was that moment that just showed me you always just try and hang on for as long as you can, because you never know what you might find left at the end.
Interesting. Yeah. Wow.
Go on, what's yours then?
Oh, well, do you know what? The guy that inspired me a lot in terms of the guy that he was 1 year older than me, and he always led the way for me in the immediate, and I looked up to him as a person, with Sam Hockian, who unfortunately passed away on a training camp when we were young, but he was someone that his energy, the way he was, and he still to this day inspires me because of how he was as a person, because how he was as a person, how he was as a runner kind of complemented each other, but his running specifically helped me feel like there's a next step, because back in my day, we didn't have the under 23 age group, we didn't have kind of transitional stuff. It was like I was literally watching Gebre Selassie and Turgat killing it, and I was going, how do I get from here to there? And so Sam was a real bridge for me to kind of, he led the way, he ran like 13:25 in the Rome Diamond League, and I just was in complete awe. I mean, he finished like 10th, 12th or whatever it was, but he made me believe the next step was possible, and just his whole persona was just incredible. And to give a quick story of where he taught me a big lesson, we ran the English schools in this is where I'm going to be stumped. I want to say Wales. I forget where it was, but it was a really muddy English schools. Mm-hmm. And he turned up and he won by over a minute, which at an English schools level was quite rare. You don't get many athletes that can run it. And afterwards, everyone was just like, how did you do that? And he just turned around to me and said, I walked the course, I looked at where I could run and where I couldn't run, and then I just made sure I gauged my effort according to where I could or couldn't. And it just made me think, like, he thinks about this. He thinks about his running, and he taught me a valuable lesson that day of, it's not just get from A to B as quick as you can. You can think a little bit, and you can think, and he was always educating me and taking me along. He was always, Sam, lovely guy, rest in peace, and I miss him dearly. He was 24 and such a great guy.
It was a huge sad
You
loss.
remember him as well, obviously.
I do, and as you said, a huge motivating force and a vibrant part of those teams. And I think everyone misses Sam.
Yeah, no, he's a lovely guy.
Honours board. Yeah, so just a quick reminder, if you do want to nominate anyone for that honours board, please do send in those. The WhatsApp number is +44 7564 747 914. Emails to paulasrunclub@momentumbroadcast.co.uk, and of course on socials @paulasrunclub. And Thommo, do you want to? Oh no, I'm going to kick off, aren't I?
Yeah, you're
with the first one of the honours board, and it's actually a generic one, or general one, that is not for any one person in particular. It's for the awesome junior community at the City of Plymouth AC. It comes in with a little bit of backstory. 6 years ago, whoever it was wrote in, didn't give a name, but wants all the honour and all the glories to go to City of Plymouth AC. They left the British Army after a full career following some serious knee surgery. They'd hung up their spikes and were content with staying active and healthy, mainly through swimming and cycling. Fast forward a couple of years, and their daughter got involved in her primary school cross-country team. Knowing that Daddy was a better than average runner, nowhere near our standard, but better than most, she asked him to help her out. Fast forward 5 years, and he is now coaching and has an amazing group of young athletes who all give their personal best every single race, which is awesome to watch. We are growing and getting better with every race. What is better than that? And is seeing the amazing community that has grown, the friendships and the fun that are enjoyed at training and events, and that is mega. The young athletes are all from different parts of the local area and would not know each other if not for their shared involvement in the athletics club. They are mega. A happy new year to all of those, and that is a massive shout out to all of the junior team at the City of Plymouth AC. And I'm going to add the coach on, even though he doesn't give the name.
That's what you want, communities like that, isn't it? It's absolutely brilliant, fantastic, and I don't spend a huge amount of time in Plymouth, but I do go past there on the way down to Gemma's family. But lovely to hear that. Right, next one comes in from Elijah. Hi, Paula and Thommo. I wanted to give a massive shout out to my mum, Joanna, and hopefully get a place on the honours board, as she absolutely deserves it. Well, this is why I'm reading your message. She started running in May, doing the Couch to 5K with our running club, Whirlingham Road Runners, with a Z instead of an S, which has won multiple awards for being inclusive and welcoming for everyone. From the beginning, she found it very tough, but persevered and ran her first 5K in 41 minutes at our local park run. Wow, very good, well done.
Excellent.
Since then we have run park runs together every week. That we can now she has improved incredible amounts and now runs 31:09, which marks 10 minutes off a PB in 4 months. Wow, that is really impressive.
That's huge.
That's huge consistency. She's always said her goal was to go sub 30. But she never thought she'd be able to do it. I definitely think she can. I hope you'll agree to give her a massive confidence boost, especially considering the 2 massive hills in our local park run. We're going to take on a flat course and hopefully get a sub 30 by the end of the year. Well, hopefully you've done it, because the end of the year is now coming up. Running has been an amazing way for us to spend time together as a family. We all absolutely love the podcast and will be listening along as I train for Brighton, and hopefully as I persuade my mum to do her first 10k in the new year. Thanks for the advice. I'm always reminding her to run as hard downhill as you do up. Many thanks, Elijah. Wow, that is incredible. And two things: incredible improvement. Yes, you can break 30. Fully believe it if you can do that in 4 months. And 2, running together. Did you see that Ed Sheeran said about he runs with his wife every day just for their kind of catch up time? And it's so good that you're kind of hitting two coins there, the social kind of togetherness and progressing, achieving things that you didn't think you could do, all wrapped up in the wonderful world of running. What a lovely message.
So good. And the final one for this one comes in from Harriet. I don't know if you remember Harriet Thommo. She was the one who wrote in asking about advice for her marathon in Malaga. Yes. So she's written back, "Hi Paula and Thommo, never expected you to read out my first email, which I'd written on a whim after a glass or two of wine. No. Having you both respond was surreal and re-listened countless times on the final run up to Malaga, including on the start line. It gave me the confidence to secretly re-evaluate my 3:30 target down to 3:20, to listen to my body and most importantly soak in the atmosphere and have fun. I ended up running a strong 3:18. Wow. Getting progressively faster throughout with a 2-minute negative split. Brilliant.
Round of applause. Well done.
I am absolutely over the moon. I completed all my marathon goals. I'm injury free. I still love running and I smashed my dad's time by 35 minutes. He's extremely proud. He's not annoyed at all. Yeah. Malaga was a huge learning curve and I'm taking all of that into London. I have even more grit and determination heading into April. Now I know how it feels to run a comfortable and controlled marathon. Next time I can back myself more and push it further, even if it means coming away with less sexy splits. I'm looking forward to my weeks of having fun with family and friends before kicking off my running 3 Fs in the new year." She was the 3 Fs, remember?
Yes, I do.
With the Winter Roundup Sheffield Run, my ultimate fun event, mud, hills and recovery walks between the timed stages. I'm hoping my legs will have recovered enough for it to also tick off my fast and far. I'm excited to see what 2026 and beyond has in store because I feel like I have more to give. Although after London, I think my path will be largely off-road for a time, bombing down a technical descent in which where I release my inner child and find my true happy place. Oh, I hope to see you at a physical shakeout soon and will be listening throughout the build up to London. Thank you for everything, Harriet. P.S. I started my birthday with a 10k. Despite starting near the back, I was on the toilet when the race started. That used to be my worst nightmare. I finished in 41:12, a personal best. I don't know if she started her watch from exiting the toilet or actually on the start line.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Yeah.
That's brilliant. And then the last part is that she would also like to nominate. So we're putting her on the honours board. She was just letting us know how she did. She wanted to nominate Gregory Peters from the Abbey Runners for the honours board. I have no idea if he listens to the podcast or not, but he should do. I was having a can't be arsed moment, running into a headwind towards the end of Malaga, and him shouting, "Just over a park run to go, let's go do it for Yorkshire," snapped me out of my mental funk. We spent the final stretch running together and both had very strong finishes. A perfect example of why the marathon family is so great. I love that. That is a perfect place to end this one. That is, I'm afraid, all we have time for this episode and this year. It only remains to wish everybody a very, very happy new year and say a huge thank you for being with us through this year. We will see you in 2026. Do not forget that we will be back January the 5th with the start of our road to London. And we will, of course, be holding your hands, answering all those questions, doing those physical shakeouts with you every step of the way through your build-ups to that London Marathon on April the 26th. It is the 26th, isn't it, Thommo?
Yep.
Yeah, it is. There we go. Just a quick fact check on that one. April the 26th, we will be holding your hand all the way through to that. This has been a Momentum broadcast production. A huge thank you to them as well for joining us on this journey, and we will all see you in 2026. Happy New Year.
Thanks, everyone. See you again soon. Here's to a great 2026.
April the 26th, 2026.
There you go.